You can start it.
Don't breathe heavy in the mic.
I'll take care of it if I
do. Don't cut that shit out.
Why don't we both do the intro? I'll say something and then you can kind of say something. Okay, Bus Bench Babes. Have you ever wondered what it looks like behind the scenes of this podcast?
It's not always pretty. Let me just tell you that.
It's sometimes or mostly usually funny.
It's usually funny.
Entertaining.
And sometimes even Ryan cuts the funny stuff out because he doesn't know we want to keep that in.
that does happen sometimes.
That happened.
So today we're going to dive into what it looks like behind the scenes here and kind of have a little bit of fun today. That was really dumb because I said today twice. See, this is how it is here. Okay, let's dive in. Just kidding. You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in. So, today is a crazy day.
Today was bananas. So, why don't you kind of give a little nutshell on how our podcast recording? Actually, let's start with what it was supposed to look like.
Okay, we had this beautiful day all planned. We do batch recording on Fridays generally because Ryan isn't working his 9 to 5. So it was going to be perfect. Kaya was going to be able to play with little Birch the kitty. And we had 3 interviews set up with people outside of the Bus Bench Babe community.
Yep.
And so we were going to do it at my house where we always do it. And then I got word last minute that the gutter guy was going to come to put gutters up for our backyard project. And I'm like, okay, fine. We'll just move to another room in the house that's far away from that. And
Ryan, what'd you say?
That's not going to work.
And so
I'm like, Ryan, we need you to be solution based, not Debbie Downer here.
She did actually say that.
She did, and my solution was, we need to leave.
So, yeah, literally, it was a little bit of a shit show. And then there were other guys working there with impact drills. Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
that shit was loud.
Drills. And so my question was, is that what they're going to be doing?
I don't know.
Because if that's what they're going to be doing.
And they were not the gutter guys. The gutter guys came after you left.
These were supposed to be the quiet guys.
Oh, Lord. They weren't even supposed to be there, guys.
If you know what an impact driver sounds like, it's pretty loud.
If you know, you know.
If you're going to do it, and if you're using one, a lot of times you're using it over and over again. And it's loud.
So Ryan is the Debbie Downer of the podcast. And
I
he's the
actually was
one
coming with the real talk this morning.
Yeah, he was shooting it straight.
This is not going to happen. We're interviewing a out-of-town, kind of a big deal individual. And no. We're not rocking this and messing up this interview. Because I can fix a lot of stuff, but I can't fix a constant background sound that will literally be present in everything. And we're doing, a month worth of episodes?
Yes, more.
So you're going to have a month of episodes that are going to be like...
Wouldn't that be lovely?
It's not like one show with the leaf blower going, which I've heard happen on other shows, but it was going to be.
So here we are in Sarah Church's apartment.
But if people don't know, Ryan does all of our technical. He makes the magic of the podcast happen.
He does.
Without his technical abilities and patience with our craziness, none of this would even be possible.
And smile on his face.
Yeah. This morning I was like, what the F are we going to do? Because I know what these microphones pick up, and they pick up stuff sometimes when I'm editing, and I'm like, oh my God, that's on the other side of the house. So I'm like going, there's no way we're not hearing this construction sound today. So
Beth, then
So our first text was to Leah on our team. She lives the closest to me. This is a family affair. Kaya's here too.
Yeah,
Kaya's here.
This is bananas.
And Leah was getting her kindergartner off for her first day of kindergarten. So we're like, this probably isn't going to work.
Oh, pause. Also, by the way, I had about 30 minutes today to try to set up and get to swimming lessons. So we're confronting this problem with the hourglass winding down on setup just for me to leave. And yeah, we're going,
Now what?
yeah, now what?
Well, so reached out to Sarah. We're like, okay, we can make this work. But we didn't know if she was going to work here all day.
No.
Called another friend who said, I'm just running out the door to go get a COVID test. And I'm like, oh boy, we can't have podcast guests come in to a potentially COVID filled house. I called my parents. They're like, no, we're out of town. I'm like, do you have a key hidden anywhere? No. I'm like, shit. So we're at Sarah's house. We totally invaded Sarah's house.
Yeah.
Her cat's still hiding.
Again, for letting us.
Hashtag open house queen.
Yeah, hashtag the open house queen. For letting us take over your space. So basically what we're getting at is it's not always
No, it's not
beautiful.
sexy and pretty.
What's up?
Daddy.
It's
Yes.
you want to go, Daddy? It's not sexy and pretty all the time. It's a family affair. And really, it's kind of a circus sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And the funny thing is that I was like, this is the first interview that I had scheduled since we started this podcast that I told you, I'm like, I'm actually nervous for this one. I haven't really been nervous for other ones.
Yeah.
And then it looked funny how the universe just threw all these curveballs and I didn't even have time to be nervous because we had 100 things going on.
Yeah, so we threw everything into an IKEA bag.
And then we're using this scuzzy folding table from Mark's Garage.
But we're making it happen.
It's happening.
It's happening. And today, and then we had interviewees.
Yep. They had sick kids and were not able to do it.
So basically.
Yeah, it's crazy today. It's real life though.
It's real life. It's really what happens here. And it's not all pretty grid squares on Instagram for sure. We definitely don't have all our shit together.
No, but it's how you handle.
We don't plan to.
It was how you handle, like when you get thrown a
handle it.
curveball, like what do? You got to pivot. You got to do
Totally.
something. You're not going to stand there and cry about it. Let's what's the solution?
What's the solution? And the solution is Sarah's place. Except I hope that she knows we made ourselves really comfortable. So this is totally
I know
our
I
plan.
ate some of her snacks, but I told her, I'm like, I just had some snacks at your house.
Because we were hungry.
I'm like, I just had some of your almonds. She's like, oh, no problem.
Yeah. So I know I've heard of, and a lot of people are like considering starting podcasts, right? Or like starting anything new as a business, right?
Yeah.
To like for marketing or to like reach your clients or your community. And I guess I kind of just wanted to say like, it doesn't have to be nearly as pretty or perfect as you think it does. Right.
I think everybody thinks it has to look a certain way in order to be good. And that's not the
There's
truth.
no bow on this package, Beth.
Not today, there's not.
There's no bow on this package. And we are just kind of winging it and going with it. So, hey, Ryan, what would be like your piece of advice for someone that was trying to start a show or like interested in starting a show?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna know what you're not gonna know until you start. I mean, you can obviously research, make a plan, but
What about like when you're overwhelmed with the like technical aspect? Like that piece of it is really huge. Even Beth and I are like, peace out with technicalities. We're not doing that. Ryan. So like, what would you say to someone who like, I want to start a podcast. I have a community I want to serve. I want to reach out to people. Like what would you say to them?
call me,
No, but really.
email me.
Also, okay.
At Audio Soleil on Instagram.
He is actually there.
Shameless plug.
Shameless
Yeah.
plug.
I mean, there's a lot of resources. There's a lot of tutorials. There's a lot of blogs. I had to do my own research. Like I knew how to do audio production when we started this, but I did not know all the steps required to launch a podcast. So
Real life, people.
yeah, 1 second, honey. So yeah, do some research, and it's not as hard as you probably think it is. At least it was harder in my head. It was harder than it actually was. So it's not that hard. You really just need to start.
Just need to start. And would you say that everyone needs a podcast?
If you run a business,
you need a podcast.
You should have a podcast.
It should be in your 2022 plan for sure.
Video and podcast.
Yeah.
Are the two things that you should do according to a lot of people.
According to everyone.
And according to our own what would you say? Results, statistics, whatever.
Yeah.
Our ROI, Ryan?
Yes.
That's return on investment.
Email
marketing not the podcast.
Yeah,
email marketing. That's another thing. Wrong terminology.
Legitimately, you can do a podcast with your iPhone, with your audio, like recording app that's already on your phone if you have an iPhone. We tested it out for something. It works. It's actually pretty good. Like you could do it for just about free, I think. Pretty close. Free-ish. Yeah. So if you don't have a budget for it, you're gonna have to do the work, but you can do it without a bunch of fancy equipment. It's just the fancy equipment can help a little bit with the production value, but honestly, that part doesn't.
Don't let that hold you back.
That shouldn't be a hurdle because a lot of sometimes the like a show that has a little bit of like patina is actually kind of the charm of it. So
yeah, basically we could have just given up and like attempted to reschedule this and taken a couple weeks off. Really, honestly, it's what would have happened.
And then we would have been scrambling to fill the calendar.
Or we just kept going like we did, figured it out. It's not pretty, it's not perfect. We made it happen and we get to continue to build our community. So really, if you're stuck or you are thinking like you don't have the resources to start something, podcasting, Instagram, email marketing, whatever it is, like, just start. That's like the theme of our day, I think, is just start.
And be consistent with it.
Yeah. What else do you have to say about our day, Beth?
I think we all pivoted beautifully. I think that we need to, I need to go buy tequila for the lovely Sarah Church as a thank you for the hospitality today.
Yes. That's probably
and maybe
a good
some
idea.
cat treats for her cat that is traumatized, hiding in the closet right now. Sorry, Onyx.
Sorry.
But no, it worked great, and we figured it out.
And we're here, so.
Also, I'd just like to say one thing. We made it to swim lessons like 2 minutes late, but we made it.
That's pretty good.
It was good. We made it. And also, I was joking about being in a flight path earlier. There's a lot of planes that fly over here, but we were really lucky you can't hear them. But I was like, you actually said it, and we're out at the park, and I was like,
yeah, we could hear them outside.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's like, don't say that. You'll manifest it, and you did. You did.
Let's be honest. I'm pretty sure those flight paths were already.
No, they're already here at St. Louis Park. They go over my house too.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it was. I had a little bit of deer in the headlights at first, and then I was like, realistically, we need to move. So that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
So let's end the show with a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration, right?
Yeah, life's going to throw you curveballs.
Going to throw you curveballs, and more importantly than anything is just start. Just execute. Just do it. Let the curveballs come.
2-year-olds and all. Just do it.
I will say perfection is the enemy of the good.
Yeah, that's good. That could be the highlight on Instagram, babe.
Yep.
All right,
So,
there you go.
There you go.
You just made the highlight reel. Probably not.
Probably not. But it's, well, I mean, I could make it the highlight reel.
Because you do
if
that.
I wanted to, because I'm
the
the one who does it. But
You're like, I'm going to do this myself.
That's the problem with everything. Like if you're going to get on TikTok, you're going to make videos, you're going to do podcasting. If you overthink it and you worry about everybody's judgment, you're never going to do it.
No. So that's our motivation for you. Thanks for being here. We love this community we're serving. And even though it's not always super pretty, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. So until next time.